FaZe Clan versus 100 Thieves. That is coming up in just a few minutes. Sure to be an excellent matchup. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined on the desk by Nameless Study and Pac-Man for these next 2 weeks of cross-division before playoffs in Miami. Now, I want to focus on FaZe Clan first. And Jay, to that note, in what ways do you think FaZe Clan can give 100T trouble?
Well, we know both of these teams are respawn juggernauts, but it's going to be the S&Ds. We saw FaZe Clan yesterday in their series. They were able to win both S&Ds, and that's something that we usually weren't expecting. It was a totally different way that they were playing as well. They were waiting for each other, trapping their opponents in and just collapsing together. They looked a lot more on point. Yesterday for 100 Thieves versus EG, they lost both S&Ds, and that's the only thing. It's going to be like, who's going to be able to pull out those S&Ds? And obviously, they're 0-2 on the week, and they're 2-0 on the week. So FaZe Clan have just been improving overall. I know the respawns are just going to be back and forth, but the S&Ds, since they were able to win both yesterday, that's what's going to be able to put them throughout the top on this series.
I mean, for most teams, in order to beat 100 Thieves, I'd say the key is to win 2 search and destroys and take 1 respawn. For FaZe, they're one of the only teams that I have hope for that can actually possibly take 2 respawns off 100 Thieves, just because they have players that are incredible slayers, and they're really good at hardpoint, and their map pool actually matches up pretty decent with 100 Thieves. So, you know, I think that they can take an Arsenal hardpoint against them. It's far-fetched, but they can definitely do it. I think the key really does rely on the search and destroys as well.
I mean, 100 Thieves rarely get to even play Arsenal anymore. They played it yesterday against EG and lost. It's been vetoed against them for like a month and a half. So I think you have to just take your chances. If you're good at that map, you believe you can win it, go ahead and play that map. And I think FaZe has a good chance to win this series.
Yeah, I do too. Especially coming off that loss, 100 Thieves coming off that. Like, you know, if they play like they did yesterday, FaZe will beat them.
That's what I was actually about to say. I mean, FaZe might be able to take advantage if they've 100T has not quite shaken off the rust, if you will, from their lack of play. But again, you guys, I can't remember who said it, but they were in 10s last night. 4 out of the 5 100T.
Yeah, 4 of them. I shouldn't say all 4. 4 of them were in there. Kenny was the only one that wasn't there. But you know, Kenny's a great player. They can't have all 5 in the 10 series. It's kind of far fetched. But yeah, no, they're trying to improve. They're getting back on that grind, jumping back on the horse, trying to figure it out.
Pac-Man, then on that note, on 100 Thieves, what are you looking for out of them in this series? Obviously a win, yes, but what are you looking for maybe from individual players or the team as a whole?
I mean, yesterday they came out a little sloppy. They came out slow. I said it before the series yesterday. I still think there's holes in their search and destroy, and if I was working with 100 Thieves, that's what I'd be trying to patch up the most is their search. Obviously in respawn, they're unbelievable. Their hardpoint record no one's taken 2 hardpoints off them yet, so it's very hard to look at those game modes and find something they need to work on.
That was Kenny's face last night when they were all playing 10s, and he's just chilling back. He's the only one smiling in that picture. Not bad for cutting you off. I just thought that was funny.
And then they got Sam LaRue, the Octane beast, main AR.
Animal, dude. Absolute animal.
He really is, and he's.
I mean, those stats show it.
Yeah, I mean, he went off.
I think he had the number 1 search and destroy KD last event. I think it was number 1.
That's rare, 2 out of him.
No, it's not. He's been great at search.
Here we go.
Octane's been a pretty decent-ish search player throughout his career.
It's a misconception that Octane is a bad search player, quote-unquote. He's been a great search player for years.
No, he hasn't.
Some of his teams haven't been that great at search, but he's been a great search player.
He has not. That's just not true. He's not been a great search player.
People don't understand. We had a crazy argument in the green room, me versus him, about Sam.
Lost it.
Austin.
You had Slasher standing off stage from our last segment, like glaring at you guys.
Because it was unbelievable.
Oh, was it?
Octane's been on some of the worst search and destroy teams. He was on it.
He's a great search player.
Okay, whatever.
He's had multiple events where he's the number.
Okay, on that note, speaking of Twitter, and not these two, we asked you using the hashtag CWLPS4 who you think is going to take the series. And from Zach 100T, I think they are the better S&D and control team. They could lose both hardpoints and still have an edge in the series.
Well, they've never
lose
lost
both
2
hardpoints, they're going to lose.
Yeah, they've never lost 2 hardpoints in a series. And better S&D, I don't know. It's up in the air, I guess you can say, because their last performance at Anaheim.
Definitely a better search in general.
And from Preston, FaZe. 100T looked a little lackluster yesterday, and I think FaZe will bounce on that opportunity if they keep playing how they have.
This is a pretty hard match to predict at this point in time. If you're at Anaheim, obviously I'd say 100 Thieves would win. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think FaZe have a legitimate chance at winning the series.
Right, and our last from Zombie Sweat, that's nice. When 100T finally woke up yesterday, they fried. They're gonna come in hot, angry, motivated, and unstoppable.
Yeah,
that's very aggressive.
Dope ass Zombie Sweat.
Is that Mud Dog?
Switch
Said unstoppable.
You said unstoppable, unbeatable, hot, fiery, ready, like.
Run it up, that's all I was missing.
There was hashtag run it up in that first tweet.
Okay, but I had to be Mud Dog on another ringer.
All right, well, there we have it. I think, again, a hard series to call. Twitter seems to be as divided as the desk is. On that note, then, we're going to see what Merc and Maven think about this series, because it's time for them to take over.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am looking to see if 100 Thieves can rebound. I was getting some tweets yesterday, people putting a lot of stock in the EG victory over them. I didn't take a lot away from it. We were playing Blackout with Crowder, and he said the guys deserved a little break after back-to-back. They didn't scrim last week, so I guess were you surprised to see them coming a bit flat yesterday?
No, I'm not at all. And if anything, it's a good thing that, like, we talk about it in, I don't know, it's good to just be brought back down to earth. Like, the problem was it was so soon. Like, it's a week after. They didn't have time to really recover from Anaheim. But yeah, they were brought back down to earth. And I think it's a good thing because, you know, you have Miami and champs. Like, yes, you won London, you won Anaheim. But if you ask these guys which two would they rather win, it'd be the next two. So for these guys, the main goal is still to win these last two events and to say, hey, we're still beatable. And beatable by evil geniuses, that's a good thing.
I texted you. We were watching the games at home, and I texted you. And I said, well, even the top team in the world, if you don't play for a week, if you don't scrim, you can still get punished. And your response was, I think a loss is good for them. Like, you do a little bit of a reality check, just remind you that you're not God, and you still need to put in the time. And then on the other end of it, we saw FaZe Clan take both of their search and destroys yesterday against Splice as they went the distance. They were able to take that Game 5 series. Splice played them tough, but they were able to do it. I guess for us is, will we start to see a better search team? Because we saw 100 Thieves turn it around, right? They were a pretty abysmal search team. They go into Anaheim. They show they can improve. They only lose one search and destroy. Does FaZe have the pieces to get there?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think they have a lot of great search pieces. Heck, when we casted FaZe versus Optic a couple of times, it came down to that search and destroy, right? Game 5, 1v1 between Chump and Celium. So I just think overall, all of that LAN experience that they're getting is going to be great for them, you know, at Miami, at champs. It might not be the best yet throughout this week. Obviously, you go to an OEN Splice team, but that Splice team just made roster changes. I think this is a big test for FaZe in their search and destroy against 100 Thieves.
And for 100 Thieves, I mean, you're still trying to fight for that top spot, too, in the division. When you take a look at seedings for playoffs and stuff, and after the loss yesterday, matches become more important if you're going to have a chance to actually get there and take that #1 spot. I don't know how much they care about seeding for that particular bracket, but I know at least leading into Anaheim, a lot of the teams were talking about how important it was to be the top. So you got to think they really want to get there, and a loss here is certainly a big detriment to that.
Who's ahead of them? Gen G?
Here, I just tweeted out where we sat. I can give you the actual records. I retweeted earlier. Let me see here. All right, so it's E-United. So E-United's 15-3. They're 14-5. So they're what? Well, they're 14. This was after last night. Yes. So they're 14-5. So they're a game back basically, but they have 2 more losses. So they really need to kind of win these next 3, and then you rely on E-United. Maybe go 2-2. You have the tiebreaker. So they need to win these matches absolutely if they're gonna have much of a chance. Because if you drop it here, you would really have to rely on United having an absolutely abysmal week, and them coming off that 7-0 performance in league play, or in their league play matches previously. You feel good about United having a pretty solid run.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure it's a small win, right? I think at this point, 100 Thieves probably isn't too stressed about it. I don't think they're worried about any team, afraid to play anyone. I think we know at this point their map pool is pretty deep, and now that they're winning search and destroys, it's not a huge deal to them. Yes, I'm sure they want to secure #1 seed just to have that small internal victory. But for 100 Thieves, you know, after a couple of back-to-back wins, I'm sure that it's not a huge deal to them.
And a win for FaZe here would clinch their playoff berth. So they're one of those top teams that hasn't gotten it yet. Because I think if you take a look at most of the top squads, like if you look at United, if you look at 100 Thieves, if you look at Optics, the other 3 of the top 4, they've all clinched already. So they're locked in. But since you have teams like Gen G, Reciprocity, and Midnight that could technically make a run just based on how many games they have left, I mean, FaZe is in a good spot. They have to absolutely collapse. But still, you'd like to get a win, get it secure, not to stress about that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go 2-0 after beating Splice and 100 Thieves, that's some solid victories. I know they're league matches, but it's, you know, it's confidence under the belt.
What was your bigger takeaway from that Splice FaZe series? Was it that FaZe can win searches, or was it that Splice played a top team tough in their first LAN series?
I think there's a couple of good takes, right?
Yeah.
I think that's both of them. I think for FaZe, yeah, you did what you had to do in 1-2 search and destroys. That's improvement. For Splice, it's we played a top 4 team tough in our first match. We're still trying to figure things out. We'll take it.
Yeah, and you play them tough in respawns, right? Yep. Like that's where I thought if they were going to get smoked, maybe.
Yeah, they were both like 10-point Hardpoint.
Oh, yeah. It was very, very close games. So here we go. Into the mix goes Priesta, able to take the first and stay up. 4 kills through for 100 Thieves. All 5 down for FaZe Clan, and that is the dream setup you can get. You already got the right side spawn and push. You win the first wave. You're in a fantastic position here to accrue some time and get set up for Orange.
Yeah, Kenny right now just trying to be annoying, cutting off those middle pushes, and finally a kill comes through for FaZe as Zuma is able to find one. Slasher just locking down this base as a one-on-one against Scraps, and right now 100 Thieves, this is a perfect start for them, and you're just in that situation. If you're FaZe, what do we want to do? What is the decision? Asim finally going to get across top middle. He's going to have a 1v1 versus Slasher. Slasher's going to stay alive. And Slasher knows all of FaZe are here. He's going to have some help, still able to find some kills as Kenny's going to fly on through and find 2.
You get the spawn safe if you're FaZe, but it's only going to be 1 spawn, because now look at the next one. 2 players spawning all the way out at blue. Octane, as he get drops, though, that could be huge for FaZe. If they lose anybody, they should still be in a good spot, and there comes in the spawn for Scraps. So you've got the back now if you're FaZe Clan, but here comes the 3-man push from 100 Thieves. Slasher and Enable combined for a trio. Is that enough to get the break? The swift answer is no. Celium holds the back. Zuma does him dirty inside, and FaZe now set up with 40 seconds remaining.
Because there was still pressure towards this hill, and Enable was at the old hill. He went a one-on-one. There was a bit of a split spawn. I thought that was going to help FaZe, but the kill's still going the way of 100 Thieves. You can hold this from the front.
Well, it was never really that clean for FaZe. It was never that clean because that first big spawn for 100 Thieves came, like the close elbow for Pipe. So they were able to reinforce very, very quickly because of the split spawn, as you mentioned. And now a chance for Slasher to get some streaks on the back of this. He has some help, picked up a SOG, might be able to lock down Zuma, but he's just getting away with his life for now. Let his teammates get the kills. He'll worry about the rotation. And I like that from Slasher because, you know, you might get greedy, right? You're 50 off streaks. You might take a gunfight you don't need to, but he opts to rotate into a position where he thinks he can guarantee himself a one-on-one.
Yeah, but FaZe is flying. Now, as I say, if he gets those 50 points from the capture, that would be the streak. But Celium and Zuma just flew on through. As Zuma's going to find 2 kills, and now you're just in one of those situations where it just feels like you're playing your life for such a long period of time. Really, you're out of the fight. You can't help your guys in a 5 versus 5. So now he's just trying to get a bullet into someone. Kenny's going to open it up, and there he is. He's going to find and finish the kill on Celium. Here comes the rest of the team. Now, on the other side, it's Zuma, who off that trio was able to find a lightning of his own.
Just 20 points separating these two teams. Slasher does track down the Hellstorm as well. And one thing that stood out, yeah, Slasher's going off, everybody else like kind of even or negative, but we got that stat, I think from JP, where 100 Thieves, it was kind of startling to see they were winning a lot of their hard points, even getting outslayed. They seem to be the perfect squad right now, but can they keep it going against FaZe Clan? Let's hop to a Astro Gaming listen with 100 Thieves.
Go our side, get our inner and shit.
Okay, inner Tommy, I'm holding it.
I'm going outer to inner, hold on.
I'm holding it.
They're gonna run at you. Yo, 2 our side, 1's our front blue window.
Outer, still dead.
Nice.
What's top mid?
Scraps freak on hill, He's there side hill. I'm holding outer. He went inner.
Top mid, Zuma, 1 hit.
Outer far, trade. Scraps is under. I gotta reload.
Top mid, I'm gonna shake, stay. I'm gonna push it. Yo, 1's top mid, 1's their inner.
Cage sell. They paint line. Cells and cages.
There's 2. Cell still cages.
We can do absolutely. No, they're in. Give me runner.
Top mid.
Two. Other guy in. He's quick.
Nice,
good shit. Top mid got fog top mid. Yeah, he dropped down. He jumped back up.
You got me. 2 top mid. 1's top mid, 1's cages. Top mid. Trey.
Top mid, 1 hit. Trey, he's going for red.
Jump back up.
Come help you. Shall I get one? Say live.
Chase, absolute chase. We can hold. Nice. Yo, 125 on streaks.
Where you at?
Top mid. I'm trying to put my streaks.
I have war. I can maybe try to get
There's 2 new press and wait. Scraps is 1 hit.
I'm about to jump
Son,
with
you
you.
might tell.
There's
Try for the mid also.
I'll be outer.
I'm looking close left.
Close up,
Nice. Might be a window or pillar. Pillar. Dead. Yo, 25. I'm blocking.
They're all red. Our pipe.
I got my shakes.
I think we mid guys.
You guys look pillar? Look, red pillar?
Nah, red pillar, Zuma.
Joe, your facial expression is Slasher ripped down 4 with the War Machine. It was that of disgust.
We are in, it is June, and if you do not have a player calling out that it is easy now. There is a score. You know when he's getting the War Machine. It's not like before when maybe you were caught off guard. Like, I get it if he's on like a 10 spree, right? And you're like, oh, well, I didn't see that. He was accumulating scores so fast.
He was 20 and 5, Joe.
Yeah, like, you just hit the scoreboard, put on flat jacket, put a trophy down. That shouldn't happen. It is way too late in the game for me. Oh, well, that shouldn't happen either.
Well, Slasher 22 and 8, and perhaps his biggest opponent right now is the map as he takes a little dip off the side despite his stellar performance thus far. But FaZe is going to be able to get set up at Orange here first. first. This time, a much more comfortable setup than we saw last time through.
Yeah, but now you have a Hellstorm that's going to be called in by Slasher. You're going to allow them to push up that back elbow. Can he find the kill? No, but it doesn't matter because 4 go down. The last player alive is Celium, who's like, yeah, I'm caught back here. And the rest of 100 Thieves just going to hunt him on down. FaZe, they're going to try to get pushed up middle of the map. They're going to try to use the lightning strike.
And I think you got a good example of the difference in spawns. Like when we talked about last time through, like when 100 Thieves got spawned out, they were at the close side elbow.
Yeah.
That time at the break, you saw FaZe all the way at the backside elbow. And it might not seem like a lot, but those couple of seconds give you a chance to get in positions of power. And you see 100 Thieves doing the dirty work behind it with 20 seconds left to go. They are blowing this one wide open. Slasher still having himself a game. He's 25-9. Octane on the other side is 8-9. Like.
But this is like the third hill in a row, right, for where 100 Thieves is dominated. But the second hill was Elevator, where it was an easy break for 100 Thieves off 4 War Machine kills, right? Like, it's a little mistake like that, which then leads to this giant momentum swing for 100 Thieves. Now it's a 90-point game, and 100 Thieves, they're in an opportunity to where in the next couple of hills they can win the game. Well, just spirals out of control right from that first hill.
A chance to chain back-to-back bases. They've got a presence at Elevator. They've got the crossfire top mid, and now a deep spawn once again for FaZe Clan as 100 Thieves get set up at blue. Now they're trying to look for their push. Looks like they're going to send 2 through elbow, 3 through top mid. And as Slasher wraps back, he might get a wondrous timing to pick them off as they push in. And that's exactly what he's going to find. Playing FaZe like a fiddle right now is 3, 4. Go down for FaZe Clan. 100 Thieves push through the 200-point barrier. And they're looking to close this one out.
I think the discussion between Slasher and Octane that we were having in the green room, they were having in the back, I think that fired Slasher up a little bit right now. 30-11 from him, outperforming Octane. But the good thing for 100 Thieves, they're on the same team.
It's not search and destroy, though. That's what the argument was about.
Well, no, the argument started, right?
Oh, I missed the beginning of it.
We talked about if you had to choose between one of them to start your team, who would you take?
I said Slasher.
I said Slasher as well.
It's a very close conversation, but
I just think there's some recency bias for Octane right now.
I mean, they're both godlike. I mean, you can't really go wrong with one. I lean a little bit towards Slasher. They still need 27 points before this map 1 is over. Celium trying to make plays with the Tempest, but this would be one absurd comeback. Maybe FaZe can show they've got some life, though, and at least start to make this a little bit more respectable. They don't get 100-point club, so that's at least one step. Now, how far can they actually push this? Celium, ineffective and efficient Tempest, but he's only 13-19, despite the fact that he had 4 kills from that.
Scraps with his War Machine, and what do you know? 100 Thieves, they have Flak Jacket ready, so he just has to spray one. Does get a direct hit onto a navel, but he has no help. Slasher, he's gonna clean that kill on up. Now 100 Thieves, 19 points away from winning this game 1. FaZe, let's see what they have. Zero is close to a Purifier, but I don't think he's gonna get it. On the other side, Enable has his, and he's just gonna lock this lane down. Now if you're FaZe, you have to try to flood top middle.
Here comes the flood. This is the final push for FaZe Clan. Not gonna make it in. 100 Thieves, a dominant effort in the map 1. That was a I guess it was kind of closer to a 20-point game, at least through the first set of hardpoints. They're in that ballpark, but where the War Machine play happened, do you think from there it was just all downhill for FaZe?
Think about it, right? Because you go from pipes, and both sides had streaks at that moment. They both get called. 100 Thieves still able to come in on top. Then, you know, FaZe you have 4 players inside the hill where the War Machine just destroys everybody. Zero is, you know, in orange base. But yeah, that one small mistake was just all the momentum that 100 Thieves needed.
Do you think, after the loss yesterday versus EG, which I think you can call it embarrassing based on how 100 Thieves been playing, the fact they're back-to-back champs. I know we're in the pro league, every team's professional, but that should have been a lopsided win. Do you think that was one where they just sort of brushed it off or like, oh, it's not a big deal, or do you think they were pissed?
I think it's probably down to the players on the team, right? I think maybe like Crowder and Slasher may have been pissed. For the other guys, you know, I think you heard Enable just talk about, like, I think he tweeted out, you know, we weren't awake, right? It was too late in the series for us to really wake on up. I think it's just a mindset thing.
I think that I may have actually I think I cursed Enable. You know, he didn't show up for Hot Mic. He slept in until 5 p.m.
Yeah, that was impressive.
They lose to EG. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. But Octane, who had a chance at maybe a second MVP, part of this back-to-back roster, chatted with Jess. Jess, what did he have to say?
Thanks, Clint. Well, he said that he was a little bit surprised. He did admit being surprised at the loss to EG, but he also didn't seem like he was really kind of beating himself up over it. He said, yeah, we hadn't played in a while, so we came in slow. It happens. He also said that in this match versus FaZe, he reiterated some of the things that, you guys and the analysts were saying, which is these are both really strong respawn teams. So in Octane's opinion, it kind of comes down to the S&D. Now, over on the side of FaZe, Zuma said that they took a look at their S&D and they're feeling really, really confident about it. He also said, of course, 100 Thieves is what he calls the best team in the world, but he says that he feels no pressure playing them. And it's funny because after saying that, a few minutes later, he also said, well, we're just as good as 100 Thieves. We just haven't been showing it yet. So, of course, we just got to play the way we're supposed to. That's all I've got. Back on over to the casters.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I think Search and Destroy for me is the most interesting part of this, just because FaZe winning both yesterday and then 100 Thieves. Yeah, they were magnificent. They won with like 87% of them. They only dropped one Search and Destroy at Anaheim. I guess I want to know if that was a bit of an anomaly, or is this team an elite Search and Destroy team now?
100 Thieves?
100 Thieves, yeah.
I think you can call them a lead. I think like if it happened in a week of the league, right, where they win 87%, and we're like, all right, showed at a tournament. The fact that it led to a tournament win, I'd put it at a lead. Okay. I really would. I think maybe there's still some holes, some tiny mistakes that they can work on. But the fact of the matter is, when they go to this game 2, or this game, they go to a game 5, they are confident and more confident than I think they've ever been.
Yeah, that was one of the better turnarounds we've seen in a mode this year, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, from 40% to 87%. You still, you win both tournaments, so I guess it's not that big of a deal in the scheme of things, but leading towards Miami and Champs, it absolutely could be.
I think they know, right? Because I think in the past, we've had dominant respawn teams be like, yeah, we won't worry about Search and Destroy too much. Well, I said we'll try to win 50%.
I argued on Trading Shots that was my biggest takeaway. Like the fact that they put in all that time, they put money on the line, they played top amateurs, they played Search and Destroy stars. It came to fruition. I guess I like when people put in the effort, and it shows.
But I think 100 Thieves are taking a realistic look at it, as there are going to be a lot of teams with a ton of talent that are going to be able at times to win a respawn or two against us. So, we have to be good at Search and Destroy because there's so many stars in this league. We can't always play perfect hardpoint. We can't always play perfect control. So for those guys, it was hey, let's continue to get better. But in round number 1, it's all FaZe. They're going to clean everybody on up as 3 are able to stay alive. A clean round 1 for them.
A nice start from FaZe, and yeah, that'll be the big question mark here if you're a CWL fan or a FaZe fan. Just eyes on the minimap, eyes on these guys, and seeing if they can get better in Search. Because, to be fair, I know they were great in respawn. Obviously, they didn't do what 100 Thieves did. They didn't win an event with poor Search. But I think we're all on the same page with the sense of if FaZe get better at that, they are a title contender.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't need to be a massive improvement like 100 Thieves. Like, they can bump that up 10, 20%. Like, if they can just improve a bit in Search, they will be absolutely lethal. And that'll be, I guess, one of the biggest talking points for them this week is they're pretty set in stone with their spot with regards to the actual playoff. But remember, they still need to get one win to at least solidify that and make sure they're a lock-in. But here comes the pressure on mid-map from 100 Thieves. It's a 4-man hit. 0. Push back immediately, but that's going to open up the bomb side at A. Plant in for FaZe.
Well, you see, because 4 push top middle, you see where Slasher's position is. Remember, when we've casted them in the past, he at some points does get caught, but this time he plays very patient. Can Enable able to find some kills? Priest to find Celium. Enable with his second. It's all on to Zuma. And while we casted this map, I believe it was Optic versus 100 Thieves Saturday night, where they just bullied into A time and time again. They did not switch off the strat on offense or defense. And after Dashy's record performance on that frequency hardpoint, they just responded with a very clean gridlock Search and Destroy win.
Well, they knew I believe they got eyes on 0 before they backed him up, so they knew they had a 5-on-4. Due to the fact Slasher actually was more like a 4-on-4 with how deep Slasher was playing, so they smoke him off the side. It was Enable with a big read, though, with the timing just to pick up 0. Because 0, if he gets a little bit of luck there, might find an opening when things get messy. Well, to be fair, if the first pick comes from FaZe in and the FaZe, the 100 Thieves players start to shift focus a little bit, maybe he finds an opening. But the fact that the dominoes kind of started for 100 Thieves made it very difficult for him to make a presence in the back end, and Enable picks him up.
Yeah, but I like that from Slasher because a lot of teams started to catch on to that strat, and they would just push out the solo player. But he's playing so deep, even if they do, he still has the chance to come back and help his teammates. And then, well, they go right to beat. They're going to find the first blood on the 0. That's going to be an immediate plant. FaZe is here, though. They're here quickly. on this rotation. Can 100 Thieves back on up? And they can.
Yeah, you just can't get picked if you're 0. You got to at least take one with you or get out and wait for the rotation. But as he drops massive numbers here to 100 Thieves, that continues to go as Octane lines him up with the ICR. Scraps last alive for FaZe. This is back-to-back sensational rounds out of 100 Thieves. Slasher's got him pinned. There's the call-up. There's the challenge. Kenny able to take it.
I think he got some streaks as well. I think that's what they were doing. That's why you saw Slasher just playing patiently from the middle. He was just spotting for his teammates to get a bullet onto him. I think Kenny is able to pick up streaks. So
Octane just set up with cover. Teammates scrambling around in front of him. He's just beaming them.
And bomb sites just so difficult to read. If you can catch them running away from the bomb, like I thought FaZe was going to be able to, maybe you can get 1 or 2.
We have, Joe, we have not seen, if you lose that first player that's watching that site, I don't know what the exact stat is, obviously, but we have not seen many retakes from that spot. It requires, I feel like, a big blunder on the side of the planting team. And Kenny did get those streaks. Looks like he's just pinging the Lightning for now. Not going to be called in.
FaZe are playing this a little bit differently where you have Scrap sort of on an island with the bomb. So you have 4 towards the A site, but the bomb carrier is towards B. Now Scrap's just going to back on up. Slasher, cluster out. It's going to connect. But the stuns are here for FaZe. That's going to open up some lanes for Asim. I don't think he got that through the door. If that gets through the door, maybe that turns into a kill for him. Instead, it's trades within Shower. Cluster going to connect as it sticks to Slasher. Now a 2 versus 2.
Priesta tries to hit the edge, couldn't connect on the melee. Re-challenges, wins the gunfight. 1 more there, tagged up and dropped as Octane gets the headshot through the wall.
I think if that stun goes through the door for Asim, he might have a chance to fly and find a kill or 2. But it just catches the edge. But this is where 100 Thieves, when we watch them, they were just so good. At these little skirmishes inside, Priesta and Kenny, they do so much work in this area, and you're seeing it here.
Well, I think that's what's terrifying about the team. I mean, you already take them just from a skill standpoint, but it comes down to those kill trading, those mass chaos modes in a 4v4, 5v5. But now they're getting smarter, playing together better, and seemingly adding some strategy to the search and destroy. It is a frightening thing. Kenny out to 6 and 2, still the streaks to use, just not the ping for the Lightning, and Octane 225 off streaks as well. Bit of a change up here. 0 was in this position last time around, and he got caught as the push came in. Scraps is like, you're not hunting me down. He's going to play his life. Back on up as the rotation comes through. Bomb is the last player in. That's going to be Octane trying to get up into a position, but control of broken completely to 100 Thieves right now.
I think 100 Thieves at the start were trying to fake it because they sent 2 towards A and 3 towards B, and the bomb carrier was A side. But I think Kenny just pushed up the street. They called for the rotation. They hit the plan in. So 3 versus 3, this is what we were talking about. Once you get Octane back here, once you have Slasher watching over him, how do you defuse this bomb if you're FaZe? Plus, you still have to deal with Enable, who's in such a sneaky position. He's getting so much information. They do find it. The trade isn't there. But this is what I was saying. Octane now, the laser beam has Slasher watching over him. Plus, he has the lightning strike, 1 kill in. It's all down to Zuma on 1 versus 1. Slasher, I think, just tried it. He got a dead slide. He got a dead slide. Zuma versus Slasher, but the time, he gets the kill, but the time just not there.
Yeah, he 100% got dead slide. He was trying to fly out and challenge there, but just ends up crouching in an awkward spot. But shoulder after shoulder, Zuma can't get the pick before enough time has dwindled. So now 4 in a row for 100 Thieves. I think the one good thing for them, I mean, not made to look, not many for FaZe, but I don't know if Octane got the second streak before he dropped, because he planted the bomb. I think he needed the bomb to explode to actually get it. Oh, yeah, no. Like I said, it's not much of a good thing. It's just something. I'm searching, Joe. I'm searching. I mean, it's 4 clean rounds.
You're still a glass half full guy for FaZe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was like a bullet away there from getting another one. Positivity, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I preach it. You're the pessimist to my optimist, and together we make a happy person.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can go with that. That works.
Well, there's a first blood, a much-needed one for FaZe Clan, as they've been having trouble from that position. They get the opening, and now they'll get the bomb down, and we've talked about how difficult this spot is, but you know what makes it easier?
Streaks, yeah.
No,
I actually thought Kenny was going to go for it right away. Maybe he thought they were just going to bait it out, but Kenny's getting aggressive with an ICR. He finds the kill. Asim, they're going to trade it out.
Both of your streak players are dead now.
I know, Kenny played that so aggressive. But maybe he was doing what I was talking about, where you're just trying to catch the players, rotating off the bomb, backing up to the sniper, right? Trying to watch over.
Oh, yeah, I mean, my first instinct was they got the bomb plant Streak's about to just destroy them.
Well, I thought as soon as Octane gets sniped,
just call it in.
You just call one in, because you have 3. At least delay the plant. Maybe you can get inside Ice Cream and somehow win the round from there. But they hang on to it.
Maybe a little misplay from 100 Thieves, but you still have a 2-round advantage. Nice round to start to claw back into this if you're FaZe, but still a ton of work to do, and there hasn't been much to celebrate throughout the course of this Game 2 or Game 1. 100 Thieves going right back to their bread and butter, it appears. They're going to A. They've got a 4-on-2, at least in the early going. The rotation should come in very quickly. Yeah, you see Zuma and Zero kind of hightailing it over.
Plant going down now. You also have Slasher working top middle, trying to be that lurk player for 100 Thieves. Now he's going to back on up to his teammate Nate from the seam.
This could be huge. It does connect. Another first blood for FaZe. Kenny's going to get dropped. Priesta, though, with the immediate answer. Zuma slides out and challenge. Now Zuma's got 2 streaks. Zuma's starting to take over. That's 7 in a row for him. The flank comes in for 0. Him and Scraps able to lock down 2. The final player, once again, is going to be Priesta. The trade is there. Now streaks become balanced. A 1-round game. FaZe going huge to make this Game 2 a whole hell of a lot more interesting.
Yeah, but we were talking, it just starts with that first blood with a nade on a Kenny, and really, it's Priesta and Kenny, the way those two work showers. They're so efficient in there. So that first blood just opens things up. You had Celium going on that flank. You basically just chased Slasher all the way back. It was actually 2 who hit the flank. They were chasing Slasher because Slasher was the one man lurking top middle.
Well, you've seen what Respawn, a lot of the SOGs will have what? They'll have TAC and Flak on because you only need like 1 attachment. But in Search, I guess because Dead Silence a little bit different. So he gets caught there, gets picked.
Well, and it's Kenny, right? He's got a Maddox, not a SOG.
Oh, God, I was thinking. Yeah. I'm an idiot. Well, take that point entirely away. I was thinking it was one of their upfront SOG guys. But yeah, you're right. That was Kenny. All right, so 3 streaks for 100 Thieves, 2 for Zuma.
So I can hear Zuma talking. I think he just pinged his lightning.
And they know there's heavy presence over towards B, so they're going to wrap this back to A. The play call comes in correct.
This might be one of the scenarios, though, yeah, where Kenny's going to call in the Hellstorm just for some information. He's not going to see much. Usually that means they're all inside the A site. He's going to try to bend it in, not going to connect with anything, but it'll at least allow them to try to retake it. But Asim, look at Asim going on a big flank through middle Ice Cream. Can he find the kill? No. Priesta able to stay alive, does such a good job. And now they just leave him. They're going to go play the 5 versus 4 inside the A site.
0. Nice shots in. First blood again for FaZe Clan. Lopsided advantage. Chance for 3 in a row. And Scraps very close to streaks. 100 Thieves getting picked apart. Is FaZe taking over this Game 2. Octane and Priesta trying to make the clutch. Celium's going to get them all. I think he had 3 or 4 in the round. Big round from Celium. That's what, 3 first bloods in a row for FaZe, 3 victories for FaZe. We'll see the best play here from Celium.
Always in those positions. I feel like he does that a lot on the defense as well. Gets right up against the wall. But once again, as soon as the retake comes in, it scraps with a cluster. The nade just finding so many opening kills for FaZe.
Yeah, you see any big adjustments from them, or is it more just the first bloods, as simple as that?
I mean, both teams right now are using their streaks to their advantage, right? On one side, it was 100 Thieves. We can play the retake. We'll use the Hellstorm. We can go back in. Off the start, it was Zuma. Let's use the ping, get information. Which site are they stacking? So right now, I just think it's an information war. 100 Thieves, they go right back to their strategy. We're just going to try to bully you at A. Hopefully you don't have grenades, or we'll have flak jacket and trophies ready.
Scrap's still looking for that kill to get the streaks. The lightning is huge. Zuma, the streak is now up to 9. 5v3 for FaZe, 4 first bloods in a row, a chance for 4 round victories in a row. It was 4-1 advantage 100 Thieves. Now they're falling apart. They catch one player full stunned. Slasher though, Slasher gets 3. It's not quite enough though, as he's the last guy up. Thought he was going to make it interesting for a moment. Looked like it in the kill feed, but there was still so much left from FaZe.
You see some frustration on Slasher's face right there. And if there's one guy who's going to be frustrated with map losses, match losses, yes, it's league matches, it's this man. Wants his team to be perfect as they can be.
4 in a row for 100 Thieves. Now 4 in a row for FaZe. 100 Thieves, it feels like they desperately need a first blood. Try and push this to around 11. I think that was 0 that's also close to streak. So, God, how this game, too, has been shifted on its head. It's been nuts. Sight wide open. Octane's going to call on the Lightning, and he does catch one. That's going to be the bomb planter in a seam. He's going to get caught. So similar to we saw Zuma opening up the round previously with the streak. Now it's Octane's turn. Advantage, 100 Thieves. Enable. I think Zero's got double punched by two players.
Two players. Zuma
Just
trying to find Slasher. You can see they know Slasher likes to play on an island, but they can't hunt him down. And before that, yes, he's going to get a kill. That's all he has to do. So now it's a 4 versus 1. But it all starts with the Lightning. I mean, this story has just been around the first bloods. When you're going to play so aggressive inside this A site, that man advantage is just so important.
And it feels like the first bloods have come in such an array of
grenades, lightning strikes.
Melee, yeah, it's just everything. Yeah, it's been utility warfare with regards to the openings. So what do we have left? 1 streak for either side? Because Zero didn't get anything, I don't think, right? Still, what? Still Kenny's Lightning and Zuma's Lightning? No, not Zuma's. Never mind. He got the 2 kills. We'll check it when we get back in.
Zuma Hellstorm? I think it's a Zuma Hellstorm, yeah. See, it looks like 100 Thieves back on offense.
Yeah. So Kenny's Lightning he's been holding on to for what seems forever. You do have TAC 5 for 100 Thieves to the opening break, so that's massive. And shocking, they're right back to A.
Kenny's going to use the Lightning, maybe just clear some lanes. That's going to allow Enable to plant the bomb behind it. It's exactly what they wanted. Zuma Hellstorm is going to be able to find a kill 1 versus 1 on the flank. Scraps, he's going to get taken down, and I don't think the Hellstorm connected with anything.
It's like every round.
And one player's hunting him down. Zero is trying to hunt Slasher down. That's going to waste so much time off the clock. You have a 4 versus 3 on this side of the map for 100 Thieves, and this is just where they're so good. You have to wait for Zero to try to make a play, but now we're in a position where, guess what? Slasher's waiting for you, and there we go. In the round 11, 100 Thieves going to go up 2-0.
Well, they didn't make it easy on themselves. They had a chance to close it out early, but FaZe Clan make a 4-round run. Gets us to a round 11. But it was a story of first bloods, and in the final round, it was 100 Thieves. Slasher finding 1 pick on the opposite site. They get set up, they get man advantage, they're able to take the round 11. So 100 Thieves now up 2-0, rebounding from an embarrassing effort yesterday, bouncing back with a vengeance. Unfortunately for FaZe, they're the victims. We'll be right back.
level up the game.
Welcome back to the Call of Duty World League. We're in the midst of what I thought was going to be kind of a nail-biting series here between FaZe and 100 Thieves, but score-wise, it's 2-0 to 100 Thieves. Yes, FaZe pushed them to around 11, but the Hardpoint not quite so close. An absolute blowout as 100 Thieves from the midway on just kind of completely took over that game. We'll now get into an Arsenal control, see if FaZe has what it takes to extend this series, or if 100 Thieves, yeah, maybe was pissed off about the loss yesterday, come in and put FaZe in the dirt quickly.
Yeah, what a response this would be, right? For a lot of people, it's like, man, can't wait to watch this match. You know, two Respawn, you know, two of the best Respawn teams in the world, and they just 3-0 them. Just say, hey, everybody, yeah, we can have some off days as well. But off the break, Slasher working inside events, able to find a couple of kills with the ICR. That's going to allow his teammates to push on up, and that's going to be a clean 5 dead.
Well, I think people are excited, too, because it's the first time we've seen them match up, right?
Yep.
At least on land, so it's just... you're looking forward to it, and... Well, if you're a FaZe fan, it's been tough to be excited thus far, but they are an excellent Respawn team. Maybe this is the swing to get them back into the midst of things, but in the early going, going to be a 5-life advantage now for 100 Thieves that they've dominated. This has been, yeah, it's been a great map. Great map for 100 Thieves.
Well, you just talk about the break, right? If you're the offensive team, you can't lose full map control off the break. It is so hard to retake it when you go 5 dead, and now you have to force yourself through window, through lobby, and you'll see what happens. 3 dead. Just like that, there's 20 seconds left in the round. 0, he's going to stagger the push. You just had 3 push, now you had 2. So staggered from FaZe, 10 seconds to get in. I don't even know if they're going to have time to contest onto the A point.
Well, I think you nailed it.
They've lost 6 lives. 6!
I think you nailed it. Like, if you lose that break and you're on offense, you're no longer fighting for the objective. You're spending 60 seconds to try and fight for some kind of map control.
Trying to get vents, right? Like, just trying to get inside of this middle area. You have to hope for a bit of a trade, right? Like maybe a 3 for 2, whatever it is.
It's like, I don't know. It makes me think of like in the NFL or something. They punt it down to your 1, and you're not on offense, and you're trying to play off your like goal line. It's just, it's a pain. It's difficult. Just getting out of that spot to get something going. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. As 100 Thieves dominated. A frustrating round for FaZe, but can they get a better opening break? And I mean, that's, to be fair, that's one of the things we've highlighted for 100 Thieves and Control in general, but especially this map.
Arsenal,
like,
yeah.
They're so good at the break. Did they win another one? This time, at least Selly able to pick up a kill, but then look at the rest of the kill feed. 3 in a row, make it 4 now for 100 Thieves. Scraps the last man up, D's wallbang, that's 5 down for FaZe.
And it's one of those things where it's just like, what do they do and how do you sort of counter it? And it just feels like not a lot of teams have figured out how to counter it, because I tell you what, there's plenty of videos where you can go and watch exactly what their breakoff is.
Well, I'm curious with how frustrating an opening this has been for FaZe. Has it maybe affected the comms a little bit? Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen with FaZe Clan.
We're down 3 lows.
I'm gonna stack trophy on the team. Got 1. I have trophy. 2. No one in the kitchen.
Where are you going? I'm only deep.
I have trophy.
They can come generators. Just get generators, please.
I'm watching lobby.
They can come vent. They can come
Just get generators.
I don't think there's anything vent.
Yo, this team likes playing right. This guy likes playing right.
Or is that you type?
No,
I touch it.
Go speak if you don't have to. No, man, shut up.
This team loves playing right.
I'm all right. One more low ramp. He's only 2 there, Papa. Kenny's deep. Kenny's too deep. Don't commit.
Oh, there's 2 there. Well, one's already he's sitting steps.
Out chain's deep. I told you don't play solo. He's back stairs and he's close to him. Close left.
What did you think about that listening?
Oh, you heard Scrap sort of say, don't speak unless you have to. They were just waiting for the push from 100 Thieves, and they had an opportunity to shut it down. So, I mean, I get it. There's a lot of the times we talk about sort of hype, right? And it honestly just creates like these flustered comms where you're just like, what did you just say, right? Like, why are you repeating the same thing 7 times? I get it. There's someone in lobby, right? Like just one of those call-outs. So,
I know this. I know this isn't Hardpoint, but yeah, that sounded. Yeah, that was, I feel like, some of the least words I've heard spoken and listened recently, at least in a recent.
Well, you're set up defensively. You have all areas that, you know, like what do we have to call out right now? Yeah. Right? There's nothing to, let's use the audio. Let's see if we can hear their footsteps, try to get any information they can. Because, yeah, a lot of the times I think people misread hype for flustered comms. So, nice job from FaZe, but we'll see if they can hang on to this defense and tie the game up 1-1.
Octane and Scraps have been having an ICR battle for the last 45 seconds. We'll see if one of them will end up winning it, but there's not a lot of time on the clock. 100 Thieves have got to go. There's a pick in the lobby. The slide comes in across. 2 are going to drop. 3 are going to drop. FaZe now in trouble. A chance to bury the remaining players. Kenny bails him out. Kenny gets 2, and now into the point they go. Clock is stopped as they start to move forward on the objective. Kenny's got to go big with his ICR. At least pushes one outside of the map, opens up for Priesta to make the play, snaps back into action and able to connect. That should be the point. 2-0, 100 Thieves.
And you even heard the listening from FaZe. I mean, I think it was Zero. It was like, yeah, they love to push the right side of the map. How many times have we watched them play this and they set up that deep, you know, artillery push? They go all the way around. They try to spawn trap some people.
It is one thing that defines this team. Like, if you think of like characteristics of them across some of the maps, it's just one thing we don't see a lot of other teams do. With at least the amount of weight and the amount of players they'll actually send towards that side. But what was it? Was it Celium that was tucked away in the corner just waiting for that push?
Yeah, Scraps.
It was Scraps? Okay.
Well, I think what it does is it opens up the front of the site, because a lot of the times when we talk about B, it's how difficult to even just get on it, right? If you can get to the statue, you can make plays. And you saw after that situation, Enable was able to get pushed up to statue. Then you can sort of, you know, make some plays through lobby. And now you have Enable with streaks as he's 9-3, well, just so clean from 100 Thieves.
I like it. I mean, FaZe doing their homework, but unfortunately, I mean, that deals with 1 push. Problem is they had 2 more.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can do all the homework that you want. You just still have to shoot the best players in the world. That's pretty difficult to do.
Once again, it is a good opening for 100 Thieves. 3 going to be down for FaZe off the rip. Priesta flanks through and picks up a seam out towards the B side as well. Scraps, the only man that's able to find a kill. Zuma gets involved as well, but that's just 3 breaks in a row that you felt good about 100 Thieves.
Now you have Octane 75 points away. He's going to use the Tempest snaps, but that's not going to turn into some streaks. You still have the Lightning Strike if you need it on Enable. As FaZe, a couple players going to get on this B site. It seems trying to get aggressive. Slasher waiting for his help, but it's Priest who comes through vents, finds the 2 kills, and now the pressure towards the A side. But Priest is just going to fly across, try to trap them in.
Zuma trying to get the angle to shut that down. The wallbang is through. Neither player able to finish the either. Octane, though, does get it done as 2 of them are in vents in the crossfire, seemingly enough to get it done. The first point has not been finished. They're able to get that first bit of progress onto the A site, but there's not a ton of time here. Do you take another crack at this if you're 100 Thieves? It looks like they're just going to try and set up for the trap as of now.
Yeah, I mean, you have... When you have all the specialists that you have the Lightning as well. I think you just give it up. Make sure you don't give a lot of lives away. That's exactly what they did. Yeah, they just trapped them in there, able to use their teamwork. That's going to be 3 dead. 1 player inside events. That's going to be Zuma. But he's the last man that's pushed up for FaZe. Now it's a... Okay, I thought he was going to go down. I was saying now it's a fight for map position. But you still have some, because Zuma, and he re-challenges another one.
I thought he was going to win that one, too. That would have been a couple insane one-on-one wins for Zuma.
Oh, well.
Priesta goes through, but Enable has already picked up that player. He's getting challenged from the edge as well. It's Celium that's gotten through lobby. Slasher, mistakes are made. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe outside the map, out a little bit too long.
Now you have Enable's Lightning Strike. This is where it's going to come in. Kenny's able to win on one-on-one. Looks like they're just waiting for it. That's exactly what they are. A take does come through, but this will allow them to regain control of site as Priest is going to find 2 inside the lobby and somehow stay alive. Asim was there, but couldn't find the kill. And that's what happens when you have some streaks. Allows those easy retakes to come through.
Now 8 on 7. FaZe with really 1 final push.
And this would just be that round win, right? You go back to a defense. Your specialist would start to load on up if you can just somehow clutch this round.
I don't even think that stun hit him somehow.
Is that tight match?
Wouldn't have mattered much, but yeah, it looked like it just disappeared in the vent. 20 seconds on the clock. Kenny needs to get 1. He's able to do just that. Priesta pops out of his hiding place inside of the vent.
So there's nobody here, so watch the other ways.
2 go down for 100 Thieves. This is maybe a chance, but Priesta wins a couple of big gunfights. That's 3 in a row for Priesta. 2 remaining, 2 off spawn. Not enough time to get to the point. It's a 3-0 in the control. It's a 3-0 in the series. 100 Thieves once again reaffirm the fact that they're the top squad in the game.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, hey, did you miss us? It's the best team in the world here. We're still here, right? Like,
did someone doubt us yesterday?
Yeah.
It's just a
oh, FaZe was a really good respawn team? Yeah, us too. Yeah.
Friendly reminder.
Pride.
Wow. That's a very impressive result from 100 Thieves, but did you expect to see more out of FaZe?
I did, especially I think in that game one Hardpoint, but to me it just comes down to the one play. Like, I just think if that War Machine goes a little bit differently for FaZe, you're set up in elevator, you have the spawns you want for a second hill. I mean, that's a 100-point swing that potentially, I mean, FaZe was right there with him through that first rotation, but it's those small things, it's the small plays that, well, inevitably is the difference between being the best team in the world and, what, 4th or 5th right now.
Yeah, and FaZe, they'll still be hunting for that final elusive win. They need to make sure they're secured into the top 4 for playoffs within their division. So not there yet, but don't worry if you're FaZe fan. They're still sitting pretty comfortably. They need to have some teams go crazy, and they'd have to completely fall apart, but they still need that one win just to make sure they're through. But on stage, the victors, it's 100 Thieves. It's Octane with our PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thank you, Clint. So what's different today that you come in and you 3-0 a team like FaZe, whereas, you know, you lost to EG yesterday?
Well, yesterday we hadn't played in about a week. I mean, obviously that's no excuse, but I mean, we knew it was a kick in the ass a little bit to pick it up. So we came in, got some good scrims in. We were all up late last night playing 8s and stuff. So we just came in. We knew this match meant a lot. FaZe is an incredible team, so you know, it's a good win.
Now, S&D is the game mode that you said was going to be kind of a toss-up, and indeed it was really close. What was it that gave you guys the edge to win?
Just the amount of streaks that we had. That's 2 gridlocks in a row that we've played since we've been here that we were up like 4-1, that we should have closed the map with ease, and we let both teams come back. So that's something we got to worry about a little bit. We'll go back and watch it, obviously, and then you know, Austin got a blood 5-5, and then we just dropped the bomb with streaks. So.
Now, we chatted a little bit before this about how 100 Thieves is doing overall in the standings and everything. So how are you feeling overall with what's going on there?
I think we're secured the 2nd seed regardless. I think Heretics and Splice are both far enough behind us that it doesn't matter if we lose out or anything like that. So we're just using the league as some adjustments on our map pool, trying to play a little bit more than we usually do. So.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Over to Katie at the desk.
Thank you, Jess. 3-0 from 100 Thieves on to FaZe Clan, coming back looking as strong as they were at Anaheim. And to that point then, Pac-Man, do you think this was 100 T sending a clear reminder to everyone of just how much better they are?
That was a statement series out of 100 Thieves. Like, I mean, Slasher came out, I'm pretty sure Joe said it. He came out hot because we were having this debate about the better ARs. He came out and just went crazy in that game. He went absolutely disgusting in that game. And then there was a point in the game that was huge, a huge turning point when he pulled out his War Machine on the 2nd rotation and nobody on FaZe had on Flakjack and he had the easiest 4-piece.
Because he was going off, dude.
Yeah, he was going off. I know he got it before they're expecting it. Like, damn, he already has it? But
he literally pulled the back.
But now you can press the back button and you can get this and you can check the score.
Right.
They have to be ready. That's a little worrying for FaZe. Now they've lost 4 of 5 respawns. We're talking about a team that we say is the 2nd best respawn team in the game. They got obliterated and have lost 4 of 5 in those modes. So I don't know. It's a little bit worrying for FaZe for me.
Do you agree then?
I mean, I just think in that series, like, Zero wasn't able to go against their ARs. Like, he just wasn't enough. Like, the AR power on FaZe, like, it's solid, but against 100 Thieves, it's not enough. You have players like Slasher, Octane, Kenny Priest pulls out that Maddox too, and they just start to take over games. And, you know, we see sort of FaZe's struggles right there on that last map. Like, there's just different AR play that can just take over for 100 Thieves at any moment, and that's why they're so deadly.
That is true. So also, I think you would kind of focus a little bit on the S&D in our last discussion going into that. So kind of what fell apart there for FaZe? Was it the stuff you were saying, like Zero not being able to keep up, et cetera?
I mean, 100 Thieves got off to a really hot start. They tried to come back into the map, right? But it's just like, it's such a tall mountain to climb. And where FaZe has made some improvements. We're talking about 100 Thieves who were fantastic at Search and Destroy at the last event. So they obviously know what they're doing. And FaZe they look good in the match like yesterday, but FaZe still has a lot of work to do. You could see players falling when they're not supposed to be, challenging too early and relying on one player to make an individual play and try to bring them back in the game.
When FaZe were up 5-4, it was incredible plays out of Slasher. He made 2 huge island plays out of him. It was first started on that defense. He was sitting back, and they planted the A-bomb, and he was just playing. He knew that they were going to push through because his teammates decided to flank. So he just sat a deep corner knowing that he was going to be able to at least they were going to push through their base, and he was going to be able to get that first kill. And even on that 5-5, he was the only player to play that B site, and unfortunately he caught Scraps off guard. Puts you in a number advantage automatically. And then he was just playing that island role so perfect on the end FaZe Clan, they had, I'm pretty sure, like 2 sets of streaks. They just weren't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, to that point, like I was a little bit worried about like why did FaZe decide to send a solo flanker on a defense when they chose to give up A-bomb completely. They didn't contest 100 Thieves at A at all, and then to send Scraps on a solo mission flank, that's a long flank. He had a long way to go. Got cut off way earlier than he was expected. Like it's just a weird play call after 100 Thieves went A every single round. It was a weird decision out of FaZe to send him alone.
All right, let's look at our schedule. We've been flying through the day. 3-1, 3-0, and 3-0. There you see it. Evil Geniuses versus Splice coming up here in just a couple minutes. And again, I just said it, but today has been fast and furious. FaZe Clan falling 3-0 to 100 Thieves. And, of course, Units falling 3-0 to LG. And E6 taking down UIU. But coming up, our last series, EG versus Splice.